of weathering storms and runs. That is playoff basketball, right? The micro adjustments that we're going to have to make, KK, we throwing you in a whole bunch of...
Okay, KK, well deserved. Well deserved, KK. Love what you doing out there. Love what you doing out there. Outplayed Angel Grease. That's about time you stop subbing her out offense, defense. Caitlin Clark can guard. You want to sub somebody out offense, defense, you sub out Kelsey Mitchell, not Caitlin Clark then.
What the? That defense is outstanding. I mean, it's just a total team effort, y'all.
Dramatic sound effect hard cut to post-game podium text overlay. Coach admits to lies. Wait, stop, rewind that. Did you catch what just happened right there? Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White just tried to gaslight an entire fan base on live television. She's literally sitting at that post-game podium right after her team just survived a brutal overtime thriller and she's crediting the wrong player. 9 for 22. That's 41% shooting. That's Kelsey Mitchell's stat line. That's not a performance worth praising. But here's where it gets wild. Pause for effect. The opposing coach, the guy who just lost this game, he actually told the truth. He gave credit where credit was actually due. So what happened between these two post-game pressers that exposed one of the most toxic coaching dynamics in women's basketball right now? Text overlay, stay until the end. The truth will shock you because by the end of this video, you're going to see exactly why the Indiana Fever might be about to waste the most historic rookie season in basketball history. Let's go.
This is about Caitlin Clark putting the team on her back and Michaela Timpson coming on for the ride and outplaying Angel Reese. Okay, like let's not do that. Now, this is her in the locker room. Somebody must have pulled her aside and said, hey, don't try to make this about Kelsey. Because watch the tone check. Like, watch this. And she still didn't even really want to do it, it seemed like. Let me go to
B-roll game highlights, close-ups of disappointed players. Look, I need you to watch this sequence very carefully. Replay, post-game interview plays. Listen to how she describes Kelsey's performance. She struggled in the first half, and she found it in the second half. Text on screen, found what exactly? Found what? A rhythm? A hot hand? No. She found her way to 9 shots, missed 13 of them, and actively disrupted the entire offensive flow of a playoff-caliber game. Sound effect. Record scratch. This isn't just generic coach speak. This is strategic narrative control. And here's the kicker. Camera zoom on key moment right after this interview. Someone clearly pulled White aside in the locker room and told her to adjust the story. B-roll, coach heading to locker room. Tense vibe. Watch her tone completely change when she talks about Caitlin Clark. Another replay versus how reluctantly she credits the defense. She knows the narrative she pushed doesn't match reality. But here's what really gets me. Text overlay. The numbers don't lie, but coaches do. Even after getting called out internally, she still won't give Caitlin Clark the flowers she deserves. And that's where this gets dangerous for the entire franchise. End loop marker, because you're about to see how one coach's ego is literally sabotaging a generational talent.
Really appreciate it. Now, we're going to start right here with Carl Semesco real quick. He's going to talk about the job Alicia Gray had to do. You know, Alicia Gray had a hell of a game, but she also had to deal with Caitlin Clark as well. Let's take a look.
Her performance today and what she brings to the team.
Yeah, I mean, she was competitive. She just was aggressive. She was really good. She, I mean, and at the level she was competing on the defensive end as well, like to be able to contribute that way when you're having to guard one of the best players in the league for as much time as she did. I mean, I thought she was fantastic.
B-roll, full game highlights, stat graphics. Here's what actually happened that night. Text overlay. The real story. Caitlin Clark and Michaela Timpson carried this team on their backs. Michaela outplayed Angel Reese on both ends. Highlight reel of Michaela's defense. Caitlin, quick cut to stat graphic, 26 points, 5 assists, 50% FG, 41% 3 PT. She was unstoppable in the clutch. Replay game-winning moment. She literally dragged a struggling offense into overtime and then out of it. The Fever held the sky to 9 points in the second half. Text on screen, 9 points, 0 fast break points. Sound effect, hit Y, because Caitlin was controlling the tempo, dictating the offense, and forcing Chicago to play her game. B-roll, defensive breakdowns. The Fever scored 22 points off turnovers. Text on screen, 22 points off turnovers. They went 14 for 15 from the free throw line. They won the second chance points battle 12-7. Pattern interrupt, slow motion replay. This was a defensive masterclass wrapped around one rookie carrying the offensive load. Camera angle shift and yet dramatic pause. Stephanie White's opening comment praised Kelsey Mitchell. Not Caitlin, not Michaela. Kelsey, the player who was 9 for 22. The player who got absolutely cooked defensively by Alicia Gray. Text overlay, what are we even talking about here? The cognitive dissonance is staggering. Sound effect, reality check noise. This isn't a coaching decision. This is politics, pure, unadulterated politics.
Yeah, I thought they were both terrific. Kelsey struggled from the floor in the first half, and she found it in the second half. I think that's part of her growth is just knowing to stay with it, that it's going to come. I feel like
she didn't. I'm gonna be honest. Kelsey didn't find any. She had a stretch where she hit 3 shots in a row, and then she just started clanking and clanking and clanking again. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? She was getting baked on defense by Alicia Gray. She was getting destroyed. What do we like? Come on, Stephanie White. Come on, man. This is about Caitlin Clark and Michaela Timpson. Give Caitlin Clark her credit now.
Over the last, 4 or 5 games, her floor game has been incredible. We all know she can score in bunches. She finds ways, but the way that she's getting us into offense, the way that she's using the floor to get her teammates shots, she's not getting bogged down on one side. She's not getting bogged down, trying to create something. She's allowing the game to flow, and she's doing a great job of finding her teammates in that. And when she does that, it opens things up for her in ways. I think the 3 that she got out of a timeout, I don't think she expected to be that open, but I feel like that was a result of all the ways that she was getting everybody else involved throughout the course.
B-roll, Coach Cal Iguodala at opposing podium. Fresh loss. Here's where it gets really interesting. Sharp cut. Let's flip the script. Chicago Sky head coach Cal Iguodala just lost this game. He's frustrated. His team is sitting on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. Text overlay, just lost the game. This is the worst time to praise your opponent. This is when coaches make excuses, blame refs, talk about what their team should have done. Dramatic pause, but watch what Cal actually does. Replay of Cal's post-game comments. He immediately, no hesitation, credits Caitlin Clark. He talks about how insanely difficult she is to guard. He points out Alicia Gray had to compete defensively at an elite level while carrying the Sky's offensive load. He literally states that Caitlin is already one of the best guards in the entire league. Text overlay, that's leadership. Think about this for a second. Camera focus. Cal has nothing to gain. His team lost. He's frustrated. Most coaches would avoid praising the opponent entirely. Sound effect, realization, but he does it anyway because it's the undeniable truth of what just happened on the court. B-roll, intercut with Stephanie's forced smile from earlier podium. That is the difference between a coach who sees the game clearly and a coach who's playing politics. One guy just got his heart ripped out and he's still honest about the talent he's facing. The other coach just won a crucial playoff game and she's still manufacturing narratives. Text overlay, who's the real winner here? Which one would you rather have running your team?
Win for the Indiana Fever, much needed, much needed. You know what I mean? All I'm saying is you don't got to squeeze Kelsey and everything. It wasn't her night. This was about Caitlin Clark and Michaela Timpson. Let's keep it real. And Angel Reese blowing layups left and right. We got to throw that in there. We got to throw that in there, man. Caitlin Clark has been on a tear. She's been carrying this team. And it needs to be respected as such. It needs to be respected as such.
B-roll montage of Caitlin's best plays this season. Okay, so here's what most people don't understand about this situation. Dramatic pause. Caitlin Clark isn't just having a good rookie season. This isn't some flash-in-the-pan hot streak. Text overlay, 26 ppg 9, 5 app 50% FG 41% 3 PT. Look at these numbers. Graphic scales and highlights, 26 points, 9, 5 assists, 50% overall shooting, 41% from 3. Sound effect, impact. These are elite, sustainable numbers coming from a player who's literally still learning professional basketball. The scary part, camera zoom, she's only going to get better. Her decision-making will improve with reps. Her shooting efficiency will stabilize even higher. Her understanding of the physicality will sharpen. B-roll, defensive highlights. You're watching the birth of a generational superstar in real time. Text overlay, the scary part for the league, but here's the problem. Dramatic chord. The Indiana Fever front office is actively squandering this moment. B-roll, substitutions, lineup changes. They're wasting precious development time because they're too busy managing Kelsey Mitchell's feelings. Think about that. Slow motion replay. A franchise with a once-in-a-generation talent on their roster, and they're choosing to protect mediocrity instead of maximize excellence. Text overlay, this is toxic. If Stephanie White keeps this up, here's what happens. Sure, they'll probably make the playoffs. Caitlyn's that good, she'll drag them there on her own. B-roll, grim playoff scenarios, but once they get there, first round exit, no question. And when the season ends in disappointment, White will sit there scratching her head, completely oblivious that her coaching decisions, not talent, not bad luck, sank the ship. Text overlay, preventable failure, that's the tragedy here. This doesn't have to happen.
Now that you're headed towards this back stretch. Yeah, I thought they were both terrific. Kelsey struggled from the floor in the first half, and she found it in the second half. I think that's part of her growth is just knowing to stay with it, that it's going to come.
Wait a minute. She struggled in the first half and got better in the second half. She was 9 for 22. She was like 1 for 4 in overtime. What are you talking about?
He struggled from the floor.
B-roll, back to Cal's post-game presser. Respectful tone, the blueprint for how to handle this correctly is sitting right there in plain sight. Cal Iguodala showed it to the entire world. Text overlay, the lesson is simple. When you're lucky enough to have a truly transcendent player on your roster, you loudly and proudly acknowledge it. Sound effect. Authoritative tone, you build your entire organizational philosophy around it. You immediately stop pretending that equal praise somehow equals equal production, because everyone watching knows it doesn't. B-roll, intersperse stat comparisons, here's the brutal truth Stephanie White needs to accept right now. Text overlay, this is Caitlyn's team now, this is Caitlin Clark's team. Not because of marketing, not because of media hype, not because of shoe contracts. Camera emphasis, but because objectively speaking, she is vastly better at the game of basketball than every other person on that roster. Sound effect, impact now, that doesn't mean Kelsey is useless. B-roll, Kelsey's best moments, she can be a fantastic secondary scorer, she can be a veteran presence, she can be a stabilizing leader. Text overlay, but she absolutely cannot be an equal co-star. The production gap is too large, the efficiency gap is too large. The impact gap on winning and losing is simply too massive to ignore. Dramatic pause, text on screen. You cannot build around 2 stars if one is generational. The Fever need to make a choice. Are they fully committing to building around Caitlyn and maximizing her unique effectiveness? B-roll, different offensive sets, or are they going to stubbornly maintain this weird artificial balance that makes everyone feel warm and important but caps the team's ceiling? Sound effect, reality check, because you cannot do both. You cannot have your franchise player carry the entire team on her back for 40 grueling minutes and then watch her head coach credit someone else at the podium. That's toxic. That's not sustainable. Text overlay, that's how dynasties die, and Fever fans, this is on you now.
It is, man.
That was a hell of a job in the second half, but especially in the fourth quarter. 17-9. Held them to 9 points. 9 points. In the second half, they had 0 fast break points. They had 7 second chance points, but we had 12. They were 13 for 13 from the free throw line. We were 14 for 15. Okay? 22 points for us off of turnovers. 22 points for us off of turnovers, y'all. That was just an excellent display of toughness, of discipline down the stretch.
B-roll, quick montage of upcoming Fever games. Here's what you need to watch for over the next few critical weeks. Text overlay. What to look for. If Stephanie White stubbornly continues this exact same pattern, if she keeps forcing Kelsey into primary offensive roles she's not producing in, if she keeps downplaying Caitlyn's dominance to appease the veterans, if she keeps subbing out Clark for defensive possessions while leaving a struggling Mitchell in to get cooked, sound effect. Ominous tone, then this organization is about to hit an unavoidable wall. And you'll be watching history repeat itself. A franchise with generational talent sabotaged by coach's ego and poor organizational alignment. B-roll, end season scenarios, but here's the thing, pause, this doesn't have to be your story. Camera focus, because the moment you, the fans, start demanding accountability, the moment you call out the politics in real time, the moment you refuse to accept these manufactured narratives anymore, that's when change happens. So here's my challenge to every Fever fan watching this. Text overlay. The real question, how many more post-game press conferences are you willing to endure where Kelsey gets praised for 9 for 22 nights? How many more games do you watch Caitlyn carry this team only to hear credit go to someone else? How long until you demand a reality-based approach? Dramatic sound effect, text overlay. Click here for part 2, because I'm dropping a full breakdown next week on exactly what changes need to happen in Indiana's offensive scheme to actually maximize Caitlin Clark's potential. And it's going to blow your mind. End screen appears, drop a comment below. Do you think Stephanie White should rebuild this team around Caitlin Clark, or am I missing something? And subscribe, because this Fever drama is far from over. Let's go.
I could not be more proud. That was a big one for us. Great job.
That was a big win. That certainly was a big win.